here's your heads up to this longer podcast, and it's all about the NLP term anchoring, being able to change your state in a moment, being able to access a state, an emotion, the emotion and state that you want, just like that, maybe in just a word or just a squeeze of a finger and thumb. I'll explain it all, but anchoring is one of the most powerful things that happens naturally, and we're going to get that power. We're going to enhance that power and make it even more. Okay, have a listen after this.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, I want to ask you a question. And I know the answer to this, but I want you to think about it. Have you ever gone into like a bakery or something, a cookery place, anything that has an aroma? Maybe it's a garden centre, a plant, that when you smell that smell, whether it's like Sunday dinner or it's a pudding. Pudding? Yeah, pudding. Or that lovely smell of freshly baked bread, or that smell of cut grass, newly cut grass. And just smelling it, it takes you back into a memory. And it just takes you back there instantly. And you're back there then. And it reminds you of people. Maybe it takes you back to those people, to a specific memory. Or have you ever had music come on, and it suddenly again takes you back to a particular time? You get these things where people call it, this is our song. And when they listen to it, it goes back to that very first time, or the time where they just made it their song. Maybe sometimes someone's touched you in a particular way, and it's reminded you of something else, another time, and maybe another person. Maybe it was a look from somebody, and you go, that look just reminds me of, and I go back there. All of these are what we would call in NLP terms an anchor. It's a stimulus, whether it be a smell, a sound, a touch, maybe a taste. All your senses, any one of those senses, can be that stimulus to get a response, and that response is to take you back into a state, to change your state. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, because I talk to you so many times about let's anchor this, anchor that. And anchoring is such a thing that happens so naturally. Well, if we can use it, and it's so powerful, but use it in a way that we do it consciously, it just seems to work. And then it becomes an unconscious thing, because the thing that you are firing the anchor off, and I'll explain this in a moment, that sets your response, changes your state, your unconscious mind starts to see those triggers and automatically begins to take you there. I'll give you an example. When I was in business, I wanted to make sure that I was in the best possible state to get rapport with people. It was my job to get my company through the door of another company to get some work. So what I did was I anchored, had this stimulus response. It was like squeezing a finger together, and I'll explain that, finger and thumb together. And when I did that, I just feel in the best state that made me feel like I could just get rapport with anybody. I was just so comfortable with it. And it worked. And I'd go into a meeting, and just before I went to that meeting, I would fire that anchor off, feel that state, go through the door, and have a great meeting. I'd come away going, that was awesome. And then I realized after a while that I'd come away from a meeting and go, damn, I didn't fire my anchor off. I didn't get into that state. Oh, hang on a minute. I was in that state already. Actually, when I went through that door and I saw those people, I'd automatically gone back into that state. So in fact, the intention was for me to go into a meeting, that intention just carried its way through and then became more generalized as well. But it meant that every time I went, I didn't have to keep firing off the anchor. So I'd set my own strategy, as it were. And it was the context that would fire off that state, that behavior. So I just want to talk to you about that because I want to do more of this with you. And I thought it'd be great just to have one particular episode. And I'll also put it onto the hypnosis part of my website, so you can go there and just find the exercise to practice. But you see, when we say set the anchor, basically a lot of people will just take, if you just took your first finger and your thumb and you squeeze them together, that would be setting the anchor, just that squeezing alone. If you notice inside your fingers, you've got little pads. Well, I just touch those with my thumb, and each one of those is an individual anchor. I used to do it on shoulders. I do it on shoulders when I'm working with a client. Sometimes I'll do it on knuckles. They don't move. So I could touch somebody else's knuckle or my own knuckle in a particular way, because an anchor's got to be unique. It can't be just like a handshake, because we do that so many times. It's too general. It needs to be specific and unique. A unique touch in a unique place. So knuckles are good. Fingers are good inside. Finger and thumb. Different fingers, different thumbs. Well, not different thumbs, because obviously the thumbs are the same. But different fingers. You got like 8 there. And the insides. So you've got lots of different places you can set an anchor. So if you can think of that. We start with the finger and thumb first, because that's easy to do. And then you can then go and play and experiment. So what's the most useful anchor? What's the most useful state to anchor? Well, that's the most naturally occurring state. So if you're in that state of flow and you wanted to anchor the state of flow, when you're in it, you set your own anchor. Squeeze that finger and thumb together. Or maybe you're feeling you want confidence and you notice just this moment, just as you're doing something, you are totally confident. You squeeze that finger and thumb because it's a naturally occurring state then. So you are anchoring it in the moment. That means it is the most powerful way to do it. The powerful stimulus. And I'll go through exactly how we're going to do it. We'll do the exercise together. The next one is to get a memory, a specific memory. It has to be specific. If it's a general memory, well, don't get general memories, do you, really? Because you can't have memories of being confident, because you never get the feeling. You need to go to a specific memory to get that specific feeling. And we'll do something like confidence or whatever, but I'll go through that. So we need a specific memory. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is to go back in your mind to that one memory, to see what you saw, hear what you heard, to actually be there in your own body. And as you do that, you will feel that emotion, feel that state. And as we begin to increase it, we will then squeeze our finger and thumb together, or any other anchor you choose to do in the future. But the thing is, we don't want that feeling to be anchored just as you go into that memory, because that's as the state is building up. We want to get it at its peak, or as near as a peak as we can, because we're going to hold that anchor for about 5 or 10 seconds. So if you can imagine a bell curve going up, we don't want it at the bottom of the bell curve. And we don't want it too far over the bell curve, because that means that feeling, that state is disappearing. It's actually reducing in its intensity. So we're looking to, as you feel that feeling get more and more intense, you start squeezing. You squeeze that finger and thumb together, not ever so hard. You don't have to do it really hard. It's just a unique touch. And then as you feel that feeling start to ebb away, you take your fingers apart. And then we'll test, and then we'll do it again. And the testing is we're going to get like a clean sheet of paper in our mind. So we're thinking of nothing else. Fire the anchor, which means putting those fingers and thumbs together again. And notice, does that state come back again? If it doesn't come back as strong as you'd like to have it, then we're going to do it again and again. So we stack the anchor. Sometimes we do it about 3 or 4 times. And once you do it that way, it'll be perfect. Now, let's go through this. Let's go through it together. So what I want you to do is just practice with your finger and thumb first, just so you know where they are. I don't want you to lose them. And it only has to be on one hand. So whichever hand you're going to choose. And let's take something like confidence. So just take yourself to a place where you'll be undisturbed. It's not hypnosis. This is NLP. We don't need to go into trance. You might want to close your eyes in a moment. So you obviously I don't want you driving or doing anything that needs your attention. So just find a place to sit or stand, however you want to do it. And what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you in a moment to think of that one specific memory. So bring one specific memory that you have of when you were totally confident. And it was a successful confidence. It wasn't overconfidence, which can lead to all sorts of things happening, but a confidence that you're just so happy with, and you know that there's success behind that confidence. And I want you to, helps if you just close your eyes, because it takes the distractions away from the outside. Close your eyes and think of that memory. Bring it to mind. Some people see it on a big movie screen in front of them, see the movie of you over there doing it. But if not, you can just float straight into the memory, whichever one you choose. If you're seeing it on a screen in front of you, as soon as you see it, imagine floating into that you on the screen and become part of that movie. And as you go into yourself, your old self in that memory, see what you saw, hear what you heard. And as you see what you saw and hear what you heard, feel those feelings of confidence. Feel them. Feel that confidence going through your whole body. Every cell, every fiber of you is getting that confidence. Feel it, spin it. Maybe you'll even see a color there and make it brighter. Make it more intense. And as you get through that memory and you feel that feeling getting more and more intense, squeeze that finger and thumb together and hold it. Hold it and hold it just, and even as you squeeze your fingers just a little bit more, that feeling can get even more intense. And as you do that, and then just let it go. Let that finger and thumb go. Come back into your body, into the real time, open your eyes. Let's just do it one more time. So if you want to think of a different memory or that same memory, it doesn't matter. You choose. So choose a specific memory of that wonderful feeling of confidence that you're so comfortable with and you know it's successful. Close your eyes. Bring to mind that memory, whether it's on the screen or in your mind. Go into that memory or into the screen. See what you saw. Hear what you heard. And feel those feelings of confidence grow and grow. And imagine that you can just double it now. And then just double that feeling again. And as you just turn it up and up, finger and thumb together. That's it. Set that anchor. Set that anchor. Slowly squeeze those fingers together as that feeling gets more and more intense, more and more confident, more and more intense. And just have your unconscious mind remember this. Remember this. And let it go. Open your eyes. Clear the screen. Think of your telephone number backwards or whatever. It's just going to break our state. And we're going to do it one more time because I want to add in one more thing. Now you can do this when you do the exercises again from the very first one, or you don't have to do it, but we'll just practice this one because I want you to think of a word, like a trigger word that would go with confidence. For me, it's something like boom, but you choose your word. Now, either the same memory or another memory, doesn't matter, of confidence, supreme confidence. Close your eyes. Bring that memory to mind and go back into that memory. Go back into that screen. Be the you in that memory, way back then. See what you saw. Hear what you heard. And feel that feeling of confidence going through your whole body. Every cell and every fiber of you, every neural pathway is filled with this supreme, wonderful confidence. Turn it up. Get it more and more intense. And as it gets more and more intense, set that anchor, put that finger and thumb together and say that word. Boom. Feel that feeling. Feel it grow. Feel it grow. Feel it grow. Getting more and more intense. And then let it go. Come back into your body, into the present time. Open your eyes. Can you spell your name backwards? I can. H-G-U-O-L-C. And I didn't have it written there. It's in my mind. Hey, do yours. Now then, here's the test. Not thinking of anything in particular, squeeze that finger and thumb together. That's right. Now you can feel that confidence again. If you want it stronger, you can just do this exercise maybe 2 or 3 times. Just do them a few more times. But you can do it for any state that you want. We did confidence because it's easy to find a confidence memory. But if you wanted one for peace of mind, being calm, being aware, whatever state you want, you've got a memory for it. And all you're going to do, you might choose different memories that have that particular state in mind, and just stack that. It's called stacking anchor, and you're stacking that anchor with the same emotion, the same state. And then when you want to fire off the anchor, all you do is, when you're ready, you squeeze that finger and thumb together and feel it. And the thing is, if you're doing whatever, well, if you're doing confidence, but whatever emotion you're doing, if in the real time, in the present time, in the now, you happen to be doing something and you suddenly experience that particular state again, finger and thumb together, stack the real, in the moment feeling, add it to the old ones, and it'll get stronger and stronger. And then when you come to situations where you want that confidence, you'll fire off the anchor. You'll fire off the anchor of confidence, or whatever state you want. And guess what? You'll feel that way, and you'll go through that particular context, that project, whatever you're doing, with that feeling, and the behaviors will come. The state of mind will come. Now, if you do this enough times, what you'll find is, like I did for my meetings and having, I wanted super rapport with people, supernatural rapport, that after a while, you won't have to fire off the anchor, because you'll have attached that context, that thing that you want that particular state for, you'll attach it to that feeling, and it will start triggering that anchor off itself. So you won't have to do the finger and thumb. It just works. But if at any time, if you're doing something and you feel if it was confidence and its confidence starts to wane, you fire off the anchor right in the middle of it, and you'll suddenly just be there again. That's what I do when I'm training. I've got one or two anchors that I have for when I'm speaking to lots and lots of people. And sometimes if I'm getting too focused, I'll fire off an anchor, and that'll just bring my awareness into my peripheral vision now. And I can take everyone in. It just brings me back into the right state for delivering the message that I want. So that's anchoring. Stimulus response. That's all it is. Pavlov's dogs, where a lot of people talk about ring the bell, start to salivate. Well, you're not going to salivate unless you want to. It's just a matter of thinking what particular emotion, what state you would like to have, which will evoke a set of behaviors, a set of internal representations, so you'll see yourself and feel yourself in just the way you want to be. And if you wanted to, in your journal, you could write out one or two different emotions or states or emotions, whichever way you want to call them. You could write the ones that you would like to have more often, and in what context, and then go through this exercise with setting anchors in different places, so different fingers, maybe a knuckle. Maybe it's just the way you would just suddenly squeeze a finger differently. Maybe it's sometimes as you would cross your fingers and squeeze them differently. Maybe it's sometimes, you see people, they'll bang their chest. That's all they're doing is firing off an anchor. I feel proud, I feel good. You see a lot of sportsmen do that. Do you remember they start, whatever, you see sportsmen and they do like that ritual? Well, that ritual is just another way of firing off the state they want. That's all it is. We're using the natural things of our own physiology, our mental pathways and neural pathways of what we do so naturally, and we're going to use them. I hope that made perfect sense. I hope it did. I will be doing either cutting this part out and putting it onto to the hypnosis side of my website. Where'd you get that, Paul? Well, it's paulcloughonline.com/podcast. Sign up. If you haven't signed up, sign up. You'll get an email and you get your link to get through. I think there's 47 plus hypnosis and NLP exercises and all sorts of things on there. And I'll put this one down too. I might even do it as a more generic one, so I won't be mentioning the name confidence. It'll just be that state, and you can then, it won't put you off when you're thinking of a different particular state. But do this one first, because everyone wants a little bit of confidence. And then maybe one of the ways you can start to think about things, and we do this, and I tell you, some of the exercises we do, I'll have you think of something that you want to do in the future, that you were maybe a little nervous about. And as you see yourself over there doing the thing the way you want to do it, you fire off the anchor. So you're watching and feeling that confidence. Do it again. And you do it 2 or 3 times. And automatically, your unconscious mind is now seeing that as something that it can do. Remember, your unconscious mind doesn't or can't tell the difference between reality or imagination. But it knows now. It's like setting a future memory. I can do that, and I can do it with confidence, or whatever emotion you want and whatever scenario, whatever context. So you can practice this out in front. I do a lot of it with sportsmen. People like golf players need that type of feeling when they see the pin, or when they see the bit where you hit to start off with. I can't think of the word, but you go there, you're getting ready to go. Well, it's just holding that club in a certain way sometimes, saying that word, boom, or whatever the word is. It's my word, boom, and it just seems to work. Two together, because you're getting a little bit of auditory in there as well, and that's really good. Auditory and that kinesthetic anchor, it just works. Because sometimes you might just go, if it was confidence, you might just say boom, and you feel confident again, because you're linking them together, you're overlapping them. Anyway, do have a look at that. If there's anything you want to know about anchoring, do let me know. Email me, feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. And on the next longer podcast I'm going to do is about loneliness. Not the whole gamut of loneliness, because that's going to be more in depth, and I think we need a bit more space to be able to go out and do stuff. But this loneliness of being inside, it will entail some anchoring. So that's why I thought I'd do this right now. So get practicing, and I will record that separate one as well, and I'll let you know when that's ready. And then for those of you who have signed up to get access to the hypnosis tracks and things like that, then you'll get an email as well saying it's all ready for you. Okay, so enjoy, have more fun than you stand. And by the way, I'm going to keep just adding this to most of the podcasts, that all the products on paulcloughonline.com are now 50% discounted, plus with a money back guarantee. That's for everyone who listens to this podcast. It's not on general. Well, it is general, but people will not find it unless they've listened to this podcast, because you go to paulcloughonline.com/sale. All the products will come in. The 50% code is already added to everything. So all you've got to do is click the one you want to try to buy. And it is try, really, because if they don't work for you, you just let me know and I'll give you your money back. Hey, what have you got to lose other than things like anxiety, getting supreme inner confidence, getting totally deeply relaxed, and maybe making that inner retreat in your mind, all those things. Have a little look, paulcloughonline.com/sale. I'm doing that because it's only open for this month of May. So I'm hoping that everything will come back to normal and we'll start doing the normal things. Okay? So until then, have more fun than you can stand and practice that anchor. Bye-bye. Just before you go, if you've just got a second or two, please have a listen. Why don't you share this? Share this podcast with just one person today, and then one person tomorrow, and one person after that. What would happen if we all did that? And why not subscribe? It's so easy to do. Find the platform of your choice. If it's iTunes or it's Castbox or any others, there's loads of them. Search for either Paul Clough or Personal Development Unplugged, and then there's a big subscribe button. Press that subscribe button, and it'll be there. You get the podcast twice a week, on a Wednesday and a Saturday. Never have to look any further. And if you would, why not put one of those reviews up? Because that would be awesome, because that just moves it around this integrated field of learning, as it were, and becomes and gets in front of other people. Which is what we want, isn't it? To be the change we want to see in others and help others change to be the change they want to see in themselves. There you go. I'm going to speak to you real soon. Hope you enjoyed it. Have fun. Enjoy every heartbeat.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.